All right, everybody, welcome to the first episode. We got a real monster of a wrestler in Ryder Rogotzke, man. I appreciate you joining me today, brother. How's things been going, big guy?
Things are going good. I appreciate you for having me.
Ah, no problem, man. I'm awesome, awesome. We finally been able to link up, man, and make this work. How's uh how's the off season going since have you got up to Ohio State yet or
No, I'm actually leaving Thursday to go up there, and on the 18th is when I move into the dorms for a 6 week training period. And then I'll come
okay,
back for August, and then at the end of August I'll be out there for good.
awesome, man. Well, I was sitting here and I was looking and man, you got quite the resume, buddy. Sitting here going over it and seeing, I mean, 258 and 23 overall through high school. So I mean, I can understand why Navies and Ohio States were coming after you. What I mean, do you think there's going to be a big transition there for you from going from high school to college? Like, are you ready for that? Have they, Tom or anybody, Mr. or Coach Ryan or anybody got with you about it?
I definitely think it'll be a big transition. It is for everyone, but I think I'm prepared for it. I've been getting prepared for it. Coaches have been sending stuff out to get ready for it. Like running every day, staying up with practices, lifting, what to get up to. So I think I know what to expect, but I also don't know what to expect.
Absolutely, absolutely. You got with any of the guys up there yet, like Sammy or Rocco or the new, Vinny Kilcarry, the guys that's coming in with you?
No, not quite. We got a group chat that Coach Tom texts in sometimes, but that's really it. I'll see him all next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got man, I gotta think, man, up there, whenever you get there, like you're gonna have like you got from anywhere from the 74 to 197. I mean, from Luke Geog to Carson Karch, like because they're saying he's moving up. I don't know, but even from 165. But just a group of guys that you're gonna have to roll with on a regular, man. Was that a big reason why you chose Ohio State?
Oh, that was huge. It was just a different level of partners. I mean, not just different from like the Navy originally where I was going, but different from everywhere else. Every single person was high rank coming from high school. Everyone's coming in looking to just work and be the guy right away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is there a certain weight you're looking for? You looking at 84, 97, or is it kind of just, hey, whatever best fits the team, let's grind and make it work?
It's really 84, but if the coach has had a different idea or anything, just really go where the team needs me, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. That's awesome. And honestly, I think 84 is from what I've watched with you, because I mean, brother, you wrestled everywhere from 182 to 220 this past year. So I mean, I feel like what was that like for you? I mean, what's your walking around weight at? That the fact that like you're jumping, I mean, heck, dude, that's 40 pounds. 38 pounds. You're throwing around up there. What do you walk
Yeah,
around at?
right now I walk around at about 195. I definitely think I'm better down at 182, 184
Yeah.
for college, but I only really went up this year chasing a big match and then
I
went how it
seen it.
went. Now I'm going back down.
Hey, in all honesty, though, I think as fans of the sport, man, going after Max like you did to try to just and even put in a second state because I mean and this ain't no disrespect towards anybody at 182, but like you would have, you're coming out with a second state title. You know what I mean? And I think that was pretty much a given.
Yeah.
And just so to put that on the line to go up, like I think it's a huge shot of character to be like, hey, you know what, like you're down to put the show on, brother. So as a fan, like we appreciate it, man. And it was, I mean, what the final was, what, 3-2,
Yeah, 3-2. Close match. I was hoping for a
and it
different
was right.
result. It was a good
Yeah,
match.
and I mean, it's nothing to. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's nothing to hang your head about at all, bro. Like you, the fact that you even took it was awesome, and you're right there with him, and they got you 19th overall, and this man is a pound for pound. You're the 19th guy according to Flow, and he's number three, and I mean, you're talking 3-2, brother. So I mean, that puts you. I mean, my opinion, you're right there in the top five.
Yeah, I've always seen myself up there, but I've always been, in my opinion, in the pound for pound, ranked lower than I should because I've got some people I've beat up in the pound for pound that I'll beat them again and I'm still underneath them and it just doesn't make sense. I'll be ranked higher than them in the weight class and then lower in pound for pound.
Yes, all right. It doesn't, and that's what it was. I thought the same thing when I looked at it. I'm like, man, because I've watched. There's not a match of yours I haven't watched in the last 3 days, brother. Like anything that I could get to, whether it was flow or whether it was all of it. Like honestly, I didn't know, and this was something else. Like kind of jumping around a little bit here, but when something else to add to this resume was whenever you made that Greco team. Do you think that cadet team did that play that help you like with the folk style side of things? Like you think whenever you were doing the cadet thing in Greco, did it translate over for you?
I think so. I mean, that's kind of where I like took that first stride and started building off of that cadet world team trials. I won Greco and then the next day in freestyle, right off the bat in the round of 32, I had Gabe Arnold. Well, he was ranked number 2 in the country at the time.
Yeah,
and then pinned him in about 45 seconds, and then came back. I ended up losing a close one in the quarters. Came back and faced him first round on the second day in the backside, and ended up beating him again. And that whole tournament's where everything started building up.
I see. Out of all these matches, though, you pinned Gabe Arnold in 45 seconds. How did I miss that? that is awesome. that is awesome.
Because that was my first time on flow.
That's awesome. That is and like you said, to be sitting there at 19, and at the end of the day, the way I look at it is that ranking system that they do. I mean, us as people on the outside looking in, and like we're excited to see, hey, we got another top 20 guy. We got, as whether an Ohio State fan or Penn State, whoever you like, it's like, heck yeah, we just landed Ryder number, another 20. But when you sit back and look, it's like it's no different than the NCAA's. I feel like you can sit there and be ranked 23rd and then end up in the semifinals at the NCAA's. Like, so it's like, what does them rankings really mean? And like you just said, I mean, you're knocking off the number 2 pound for pound guy in the country and you're pinning them. And speaking of pinning, bro, which leads me into another thing, like, what are you doing? Like, how is this even, like, these numbers are insane, like absolutely through the roof. And you won it twice, that junior Chalice Award,
junior Chalice Award. Yep.
Yeah, which is, if I'm correct, most pins or just best pinner. Honestly, I never even knew it was a thing until I looked into you, and I'm like, this dude's pinning 45 of the 50 people that he wrestles. Like, that's just like, that's insane.
Yeah, it's an award that they give out. You know who Wade Chalice is?
Yeah. I just actually I didn't until now, but I seen he was at Clarion and pinned 109 guys throughout his career, and that's where the award came from.
Yeah, named after him. It's really, they take more than just most pins into effect. It's like just most dominant, really. You're pinning everyone. You're not just like catching people. You're doing it with authority. You're pinning good people. Like, they take all of it into effect and they figure out who's the best pinner in the country, really.
Twice, brother. That's insane. And be proud of that shit, brother. You are an absolute dog for it, because, and even like I've seen you, like, honestly, I feel like I might enjoy watching your bottom game more than anything, because that little reach, I've never seen it done like however you do it. Like, whenever, like, you just seems like you just reach back and next thing you know, the dude, I'm like, what just happened? Like, it's unbelievable. It really is. Is it something that you drill regularly, or is that just something that came?
This just came natural, to be honest. I don't really drill it. I'll hit it in practice sometimes, but that's what I pinned to Gabe Arnold in. But in freestyle, it was just, I was about to get taken down, if threw him over, and that just developed naturally.
That's something else, man. I'll tell you, because it's definitely something. Like, it was actually the first match I ever watched of yours, and this is when I found out Ohio State first landed you, whenever you first switched from Navy to there, which we'll get into that here in a minute. But that was the first. It was actually just this past year I think it was in the finals of I think the Christmas deal that you guys got
Yup,
out there in
Christmas
Minnesota, the
tournament.
Christmas tournament. Yes, sir. In the finals, that was a good match. You guys were back and forth, and I believe you hit that. It might have been in the semis or finals, but I was like,
That was
oh,
in the finals, I think, against Connor Mirasol.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yup,
And
I
he's a
remember that
dog in his
match.
own right too. Like when you're putting guys on their back like that, it was like, man, like this. I mean, first thing you see is like this kid's pinning 45. And honestly, to be fair, like who knows if you would have sat at 182 all year long, how many pins do you get your senior season? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
well, the thing is about that is my record. Besides McAnally in the 2 matches I faced him, and then this one kid that I faced him 4 times in the year. Uh, I beat him by 14 when I should have probably had a tech, and then majored him, and then pinned him twice. Besides that kid and then McAnally in those 2 matches, I pinned everyone else.
it was like a disqualification for a
Yeah,
mat return, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah,
Which
that was.
the fact it's even on the record, brother, like kind of was like, what are we doing here? Like we're going to count that as a loss. Honestly, I thought it was a slick mat return, but I mean, who am I guess? But
I thought it was beautiful. First time I reached
yeah,
up and did that.
yeah. I was like this, and honestly, we are. I think I I mean, I'm from Ohio. I mean, I'm 2 hours outside of Columbus, so like, I try not to be obviously running a podcast like or starting one up. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to be so what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't want everybody to be like, oh, he's slamming down on Ohio State because I mean, but I am. I'm excited about you, man. And whenever I really dug into you, it was like we're gonna be all right at 184 for sure. I mean, and even you and Shoemate, and I mean, just there's a list of you guys that are you planning on redshirting?
Nope. Going right in. I'll battle for a spot. If I get the spot, go for the NCAA championship. If I
Like, yeah,
don't, just grind all year, come back and get it the next.
yes, sir. I like it. I like it, and that's honestly, I think that's the what other attitude to have. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I mean, the more I hear from here, just talking to you, like you could tell you're a confident man, and I can appreciate that, man. We're excited for you, we really are. Um, One thing I did want to touch on was whenever you committed to Navy, what ultimately led to you was saying, hey, you know what, maybe there's a better opportunity at Ohio State. What was the main factor in that? Was it the guys? I'm taking like just the better partners possibly, or
That and like I mean, that throws into it. I think it was mostly like the potential and my potential. I mean, I went out, trained for a week at the Navy. Great coaches. I love that place. I can't got nothing bad about their team or their program or the coaches. It's just after that week of wrestling and then after Super 32 and beginning just talking to Tom and learning about Ohio State and what they got. It was really just seeing the potential that was there and where my
yeah.
potential would lie at both these colleges. And then it was kind of a
Uh,
clear decision from there.
yeah. Now, are you planning on hitting the freestyle scene pretty hard when you get up there, or Greco, or anything like that outside of it? Or are we just going in focusing straight on folk style and
That's really up to the coaches. I'm guessing mostly folk style because this year I didn't go to the U.S. Open or World Team Trials. I just stepped back from that this year. Some other stuff to just focus on. Be right
yeah,
back at it next year and every year after. But
yes, sir.
I'm not doing any. I'm not going to Worlds. I'm not doing anything this year that's freestyle and Greco after that. Not going to Fargo. I don't think that's during the 6 week training period. So should just be folk style, I guess.
There you go. I like it though, man. Like you said, especially if you're going in and just gonna go straight after it to get there, man. And if you do, brother, I hope so because I go to two or three of them. Went to two of them last year, the Penn State, Michigan State, those. So I hope to see you
Yep.
in that lineup at 184, big man. And I was also looking here. You and your sister, your junior year, whenever you won the state title, you and your sister were the first duo of a brother and sister to win a Michigan State title, or a Michigan. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota state
Minnesota. Yep.
titles. Yeah, man, that's another incredible story, man. How'd she end up doing this year? She's still doing her thing. She go to state this year.
Yep. This year she got second. Had a tough finals match. Um, I guess we just place the same every year now, but
Yeah,
first and
that's
first
hey,
and
ain't
second and
nothing.
second.
That's in the blood apparently though, man. You guys get. I mean, as a freshman, and you heck, you six. Did you go to state six five or six? Because I seen it where it was said five, and then I seen another one that said six. But from what I've added up here, you went to the state tournament 6 times, a high school state
Yep.
tournament.
You can wrestle
You
varsity
know,
in 7th grade. So
that's
I got third at
that's
state in 7th grade. And then
huh?
my I got third at state my 7th grade year. And then my 8th grade year, I dislocated my arm and was out for about 3/4 the season. Came in for about 10 matches before state. Didn't really do the best, so I didn't place that year. So it's 6-time going, 5-time placing.
And then I see because of what, yeah, because you're what, seventh grade, you get third, did not place eighth, and then you get a third and ninth, a third and 10th, you win it, you're 11th, and then 12th grade here, your senior season, you step up and take on Max and goes 3-2. But like I said, like brother, that's a state title in my opinion because what you did and what you did it for you. It, I'm gonna say you was 2 time state champ,
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
but
I had a lot on the line for that. We didn't know if I
100%.
was going to have enough matches for the pin record in Minnesota this year again. So going up, I was kind of sacrificing maybe that. I did sacrifice the career pin record in Minnesota. Um, and then sacrifice getting a second state title. There's a lot of things on the line, but the match seemed more worth it, more like a challenge, something bigger to work for all year.
100%. And then also your brother, he South Dakota State guy, right?
Yeah, we just transferred to I think Indiana.
Oh, really? No, and now he's in the Big Ten with you. What weight's he run? That's Roman, right?
Yep, same weight, 184, I think. Unless he's going 97 next year, it'll be whatever happens there.
How's that Thanksgiving gonna be? You guys meet up on holy mom and dad gotta be but that's awesome. They gotta be proud both their sons wrestling at Big Ten schools like that, man. Indiana, they got some good coaches up there. Honestly, I mean, I nothing against South Dakota, but good for him. I mean, I think from what I saw, now he won 2 state titles, correct?
Yep, that was another thing on the line. He's got 2 state titles. I only got one so far, so I can match him or go up and risk it. But I'll take my two
Yeah,
Super 32. Oh, this way, Super 32 titles.
absolutely, absolutely. I see him hanging, bro. I see him. I was,
Yep.
and that was. I mean, if we really look at this resume, man, we got a 258 win, 23 loss overall record. You're the number 2 pound or number 2 kid, which doesn't make it number 1 kid at 182. This is Bobby's deal, not Flo's deal. But Flo's got you at number 2. I got you at number 1 at 182, and they got you at 19 pound for pound. And then, I mean, 6 times state qualify. I mean, as a seventh grader, brother, you're placing it, that's insane. I mean, to sit here and place third as a seventh grader, like in Ohio, like you have middle school states, like you know what I mean. And then like I'm in Ohio, I don't know anybody I don't even know if you can do it. Like to be honest with you, like that was new. You know what I mean? So that was when I seen that, I was like, what is this dude? You're an animal. 6 times.
We got middle school state, but if you're good enough, you can hop right to varsity. So, like 6th grade, I went to middle school state. It's quite a bit easier, just really pinned everyone. But being
That's awesome.
varsity in 7th grade is good.
Yeah, because I tell you, in Ohio, it doesn't. And if they do, and this is somebody that wrestle, like I've been around the sport like my whole
Mhm.
life. I I don't know that I've ever heard of a seventh grader placing third. So like yeah, that's crazy. And then the Super 32s, like I mean, you're talking out of. Do you ever go to Ironman? Do you guys ever go to Ironman in Stillwater?
No, there's a weird rule in Minnesota where you can only go like 250 miles from your high school. So we never got to go
Mhm.
there or the Powerade. The best we could do is the Rumble on the Red or like the Cheesehead, Bi-State, the
Yeah,
Clash.
because I mean, you ran across some monsters out there though. So like because to be honest, everybody always talks about Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Ohio, but man, when you really sit there and look at Minnesota, it's like, whoa, like there's some animals out in Minnesota, buddy. Like and out that within that 250-mile radius, like you came across
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? and then to go win 2 Super 32s, like in my opinion, like it's it is Powerade. It is. I mean, it
Mhm.
probably tougher than Powerade in my opinion. Like, it's right up there with Iron Man. I mean, like that's them 2 belts, man. That's something that's awesome. Yeah, I don't even think that many people's won. There's only a handful of guys that's done what you've done at Super 32.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
Like,
I held those close.
and that's awesome. Now the second one you got, that was your junior year,
I
or
won
was
it my junior year and then this year.
and you went in for some reason they had you as the 2 seed, and I was because I remember watching it and I was like, why is he a 2 seed? Like, I mean, not that it mattered because we still came out on
Yeah,
top, but at the end of the day, like it was like who's better than Ryder? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's what another thing. And rankings are rankings, and you come out on top. That's all that matters. They can put you as a 20th seed, brother, where you wrestle the way that you do and pinning the way that you do. You're gonna be all right.
yeah. Well, my first year I won it. My junior year I came in like 6th seed or something.
Really.
Yeah, and I
And
had
that's
like
crazy because your junior year, I felt was like when like you were on the map. Don't get me wrong, but like whenever it was like, yo, this is a blue chip recruit. Like this kid is like he's that guy. So like to be sixth, I think both times they kind of load you a little bit, but
yeah,
hey, you got the 2 titles to say it. So
yeah. This year the lowest seed was a bit more personal. I just wasn't very happy about it.
yeah, well, I remember I seen the interview on Flow, and you could tell like whenever I mean, you brought it up, and it was, and I can understand that, man. After all that you've done, and it's understandable. Like you have every right to feel that way. I mean, after doing the things you've done, I would feel like, hey, I should be the 1 seed here. And hey, all you did is shove it right back down on them, Meg, man. But
Yeah.
uh now how with you going to Ohio State and everything like that, like was it Coach Tom that really, or was it Jaggers, was it Bo? Like, was there a certain coach that really you clicked with, or was it Coach Ryan the most that really like had that click with you?
I'd say it's probably Coach Ryan. He was the one I was talking to a bit more. I like his mentality on things. I mean,
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
sent he sent a text the other day. If I got my phone right here, I should read it. He sends it to the group chat, and it's just his mentality that's amazing. You can't find no one else. He sent this quote. It says the best pace is suicide pace, and today is a good day to die. He starts explaining how that's the pace at Ohio State. It's a suicide pace. You're going all out the entire time, and that's what I'm all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is awesome, man. I'm not even shitting you, brother. I got you even reading it, I got goosebumps. But like,
I had
because I mean,
goosebumps reading it.
yeah, I guarantee it, especially when it's going to you, and I'm just an outsider looking in, and that. But like, I've met Coach Ryan a couple times, just a quick hellos at the match, get a quick picture type deal. I know fanboying it up, but like he but the fact he takes the time like that, like you can tell, like he genuinely cares from everything, from as small as the fans, but like he really looks like whenever he talks about his guys, like you guys coming in or the class before you with Jesse and Nick and both
Yep.
Nick and just like you guys are like his kids, like, and I I can't see anybody wanting to go. Obviously, we always want the best to come, but I just like, man, who wouldn't want to wrestle for these guys? And then you got Logan Stever and a 4-time national champ, one
Mm,
world champ, and then you got Bo Jordan, who is probably still the baddest dude in that room when it comes to strength and just being a dog. And then you add Jaggers on top of it, and it's just a beautiful thing there, man. So I think you got some good coaching coming your way, which you've had throughout your career.
yeah, that's. I mean, my high school coach was Tim Hartung, 2-time NCAA champ.
Yeah,
It's. I've always been around good coaches, so I know what to look for. And Tom was
that's
just a great coach, and then everyone around him was the whole staff just added on top of it.
yeah, buddy. It is. It's a heck of a place, man. I can't wait. Have you been up there like to the arena and checked out the new stadium up there?
Yeah, the Cavelli Center. I was up there for a visit in November, I think. And then that's where, since it was actually after signing day, I went up there and committed and signed on the same day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was
I don't
just
blame you though. That walkout, how they have the. I mean, it's unreal, buddy. Whenever you toe that line, I can, as a fan, like just looking at you guys, like it's running through the fans with the smoke and your song, and it's just it to line up against Penn State or the Iowas or Indiana. You know what I mean? I'm excited for you, buddy. I really am. I'm excited to see you out there and get it and get that feeling, man.
yeah, you're excited. I'm excited. I'm
I can imagine.
been
I
thinking
can imagine.
about it.
I bet, man. So you got just a couple more weeks and heading like do they kind of walk you through the steps of like what the process is when you first get on campus and like what you're getting into, or is it kind of just like, hey, show up here and we'll let you know when you get up here type deal?
They sent out a schedule probably about a month ago about what the 6 weeks is going to be like. It's like 4 or 5 practices a week, 2-3 lifts or something. That don't quote me. That's just look. I haven't looked at it in a bit, but it's going to be tough. It's Tom reminds us it's not going to be a week camp. It's here to train, here to get you your expectations right and get you knowing what it's going to be like.
You seem to fit that mind so or that mindset and that like you seem to fit in that fold real well, buddy. You just this like 20-25 minutes that we've been talking, it just you got one hell of a mentality for what you're about to get into and what you're built for. And it sounds like you were built for what you're going after, big guy.
Well, thank you. I feel like you need that mentality to go here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, in that weight class, I mean, you got 84 you got, I mean, there's some dogs up there. I mean, you got Aaron Brooks up there just running it. So, I mean, hopefully Ryder can get up on there and just reach on back, brother, and get him on his back.
That's the plan. That's quite a way to make a name for yourself right away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't think you have an issue with that, though. I think I think you're going to be all right, man. Definitely excited about it for sure. And tell me, after like everything that you've done, man, 2 Super 32s, 6 times in states, winning states, taking second, taking third 3 times, these 2 Chalice Awards, getting this Ohio State. Out of everything that you've done with this amazing resume, what's hit you the best of like, man, like you felt like what means the most to you out of all of it?
Probably Super 32 titles and then Chalice Awards, because the Chalice Award is not a tournament I'm winning or anything. That's a season long, year round thing I'm working for, and every match I gotta have the right mentality to pin them, be dominant, and do it right because I got people watching, and at the end of the year, that's what it gets judged on. So probably those 2 things, and then in the end, landing here in Ohio State.
Absolutely. And then you also get most valuable wrestler for your team 3 straight years.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's impressive because I mean, you guys have, I mean, it's not like you're the only guy sitting at Stillwater. You guys took third at state this year, I believe.
Yeah, we got third this year. No, yeah, we got third this year. Second last year, third the year before, second the year before, and second the year before. We've been in the top 3 the last 5 years.
Yeah, so that's what clearly there's some monsters in that room that could be a valuable asset, and I'm not sure. I mean, if there's more going D1, D2, or what all entails, but I know that you have to win it 3 times in a row with them other studs on that team, brother, speaks volume. You know what I mean? Like, because you're at a prestigious school, and I didn't know it was a prep school either, but it 3 times and it's you're on top of it, big guy. It is, man. You got a hell of a resume. It actually blew my mind. 193 total pins.
Yeah, and the record was 195, so I was 2 away for a career.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I sacrificed going up. But
No doubt, no doubt. Because I seen 197s, 220s, 182s, and I was just like, well, they threw you just. But one thing it showed was selflessness, though. Like you were willing to do what was best for the team. I'm guessing that's what it was. Like, hey, Ryder, if you could jump up this, is that kind of why you were jumping around?
yeah, at Stillwater, for some reason, we've always had just a boatload of people that are really good right around this weight. Like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, we had me, my practice partner, Hunter Leiden, who's going to the U of M right now, and then Anthony Tuttle, he's at Rochester Community Tech College. But I was ranked like number 4 in the country at 182. Hunter was ranked like number 7 in the country at 182. And then Tuttle's ranked like 12 at 182. So we got 3 guys at the same high school, all in the top 20 at one weight class. We've always just had a boatload of people right there. And it's great practice partners. And this year we had a good amount ranked in the state. And they were all a little bit lighter than me. So when I was like, if I go up to 95, that opens up 70 and 82 for both of them. Works out better for the team. Otherwise, we got a lighter guy all the way up at 195. It's
You're
just,
built to be a guy, bro.
yeah,
For real. That's the selflessness of you. And and that's not a crack on it, but it's just you. Sasso's done it. Like stayed at 49 when really he should probably be at 57, but he does what's best for the team, and just they're getting another one, and then that's exactly what's needed. I mean, you can't put enough of Ryder Rogotzke's on a team. You know what I mean? So
mm-hmm.
that's awesome, bro. Like that's cool that you did that to put them on and help the team out. And honestly, it's a big reason of why you guys are placing in the top 3 every year at a team state tournament.
Yeah. But in fact, my buddy who Anthony Tuttle's little brother, if he would have been up at 95, he would have had a tough time because he's way lighter. But then at 182, he ended up getting third at state. So worked
That's
out good
crazy.
for him.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then I see you were selected to the AAA class all tournament. Now, what? Don't know a lot about it from being from Ohio and you being out there in Minnesota. So, like, what was that AAA all tournament deal?
Actually, we got in Minnesota, we got 3 classes. It's single A, double A, triple A. Triple A is the biggest, uh, significantly harder than any of the other ones. And at the end of the year at the state tournament, it's just whoever they think the best person at each weight is. So, like, uh, I don't know what weight I got it at, like 195, I think. And then McAnally got it like 220. Uh, I don't know. Last year I got it at 182. They just take the best guy at that weight. That's the all tournament team.
So you're pretty much you're making a team of the baddest guys on in Minnesota at each weight.
Yeah, we don't go
Uh,
do anything with that team, but
yeah, yeah, it's kind of
it'd be
like
cool.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's still it's an honor to sit there and be like, hey, dude, this year we're voting you the baddest guy at 182 or 195 or whatever the
Yep.
case may be. So that's still to be that guy at Minnesota, man. Like you are that guy in Minnesota. I mean, you and Max, but I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
like that you guys are the 2 baddest guys. I mean, and he's I mean, they got him at 3 overall, like I was saying earlier, and it just the fact that every time you've wrestled him it was 5-3 and then 3-2. I mean, not even that, you closed the gap a little bit, and this is the number 3 guy in the country. So I mean, you're there, you're there.
Yeah, that was originally that first time I faced him, it was I was ranked number 1 at 182. He was ranked number 1 at 195 at the time. And it was just a regular duel because our high schools are only like 30 miles apart, which is weird for 2 number 1 guys in the country at 2 different weights. So we ended up facing them at our home duel. And I said, why not? Let's just go up and make a match out of it. And then I had
Yeah.
that loss, and I came into practice that Monday. My coach came up to me and he's like, well, what's your thoughts? And we both decided I'm going up to 95 for state because that's the only other place I could have faced him.
So you were, so it was actually, because that's honestly, I was wondering, like, did his camp reach out to yours? Did your camp reach out to him? So it was really you saying, "Hey, I want this. Like, I'm the one coming to get it." It was on you that made that call, huh?
Yeah, that first time it was like we're sitting knowing this duel's coming up. We're like, well, let's make it happen. We text my coaches reached out to him or their coaches and were like, hey, if we bump him up, would you stay? And they agreed, and that's how that first match happened. And then I mean, there's no reason for him to come down. So I was like, I gotta go up to get that match back.
Yeah, yeah, I respect it. I respect it. And man, was it there too? Like you guys, you're right there with each other. I mean, and I think he won it 3 times. So
Oh no, he got his fourth state title there.
that was a fourth one.
Yeah.
Would have been nice, so you got a 4-time state champ. You move up to go after him. Respect, bro. Nothing but it. Nothing but
Yeah,
it.
and what's nice is I don't know if people would expect this or not, but I mean, some people thought it was like a grudge or we hated each other or something. But I mean, down in the tunnel after while we're going to get our award is nothing but respect. It was two
Well,
good athletes, won a
absolutely.
hard match, giving the crowd what they want, and then knowing that in the future, good chance we'll be facing each other in college.
So yeah, I'll guarantee. Yeah, and that's awesome to hear that you guys were able to keep it, just two competitors. Like it wasn't so much of like, hey, you got me 5-3, man. I dislike this guy. I'm going after. It's just like, hey, I want to compete with the best. I want to be the best, and to be the best, I have to beat the best. So I'm going to go after this man, and that makes honestly, I think it makes the story even better
Yeah.
rather than it being a grudge match.
Mm-hmm. One news channel labeled it a grudge match, and I was like, I don't really have anything against him, but
Yeah, I guess they probably trying to, and to a point maybe, because there's a lot of people that think that's what the sport's missing. They need to
yeah,
uh, amp it up and try to get more of like a UFC. What's your outlook on that? Do you think wrestling could use more of that? I don't know, say Final X yesterday when they're sitting up there and they're sitting there at the same table as the guy. Like, do you think it should be more of like I'm coming at you, get ready, like I'm not playing, or do you think it should stay a competitive, like, hey, this is just we're competitors, it's all respect type deal? Do you think it would help the sport to change to the other way?
I think it makes it more exciting. It might draw more attention,
Yeah,
but I mean, I think wrestling's also got a reputation of having respect. I mean, you shake hands before after the match. It's a respectful game, but
and the
I
sport's
think
growing, in my opinion, right now. It's growing more than I've ever. I feel like in the last 5 years, between even women's wrestling, men's wrestling, even freestyle, it's. I think it's just taken off, in my opinion. Like it's just going to keep going and going, and it's working with respect. And I'm okay. I'd be okay with either one of it. Like, say if it was a grudge match, I wouldn't have been upset with that. But with the respect on it too, and just wanting to compete against the best, I respect that also. So I mean, I think people that love wrestling will take it either way, but I think to add
mhm.
people that really don't, that just want to see some kind of reality TV drama, like, you know what I mean? Like, it might bring those kind of people in. It's like, oh man, this guy's really hating on this one. So, I mean, you obviously want to do anything to help the sport grow, but I always like to kind of ask that just to see from a wrestler's point of view and where you guys are sitting, what you think would be best with it.
Yeah. Well, another thing I like about wrestling on that is if you're getting chippy with someone or you don't like them in UFC or boxing and stuff. I mean, you start throwing punches. You can't throw punches in wrestling. It's if you're mad at him, you better be better or work harder, or you better figure it out because you're not throwing punches or
Right.
kicks or something. You got to beat him in wrestling to
Absolutely.
show.
Absolutely.
So
And that's why, honestly, I think it's the greatest sport on the planet, man. And actually, I got my little nephew here beside me, and he he's just into his second year, and taking them L's when you first start, and just honestly, I want to try to even help the youth, like keep them in it, and uh, having him watch somebody like you that's started? I mean, how did you actually? Speaking of that, what was a way that you got into wrestling? Who introduced you to it?
My dad definitely did. He wrestled in high school, and really, I just got into it in like kindergarten. I tried t-ball. No, I never tried soccer or basketball, but I tried t-ball. Wasn't the right thing. Got into wrestling next, and then football. Those two things stuck with me for the longest time. And then my senior year, I decided not to wrestle or not to play football to focus on wrestling.
So you played all the way up to your junior year. You,
Yeah, I started the last 2 years. It was good. I was middle linebacker, so I just liked
good
hitting
position.
people,
Good
being
position. That's
physical.
me too, bro. Yeah, yes, sir. And that makes sense though. That translates onto your wrestling. You could it definitely shows. You can see it.
Yo,
I was gonna say safety, honestly, at first, but then I was like, man, when he walking around at 190, yeah, middle linebacker's nice at a high school level at 190 and can move like that, so it makes sense.
yeah, and I'm not the best at pass coverage either, so I want to go where the
Downhill.
ball is. Yo,
Yeah, find ball, kill, see ball, kill ball. Yes, sir. I get it,
yo.
buddy. I was built the same way with it. But that's awesome that I mean, you realize like, hey, man, you just kind of, was it hard to let football go, or was it a pretty easy, like, hey, let's kind of focus on wrestling?
Uh, it was tough because of the guys that I had. Like, it's my high school boys. They had a
Yeah.
great season, and if I was probably there, uh, they lost. I think in the first round of state this year, a real close one. If I was there, we probably would have made it to the semis or finals, just because they were really lacking at the middle linebacker spot. After I left, we only really had two, and when I left, they had one, and it was kind of iffy for them. So it's
Yeah,
tough leaving them stranded in a way. But that
absolutely.
definitely helped me out in other aspects. I mean, I remember last year going to Super 32. I had a football game the Friday night before. I go to bed. I wake up at 3 a.m., fly out, weigh in, wrestle Saturday. And then
Yeah.
I
This
was
is your
at,
junior year, the one that you won it.
yeah, I was up like
Yeah, nah.
5 hours of sleep, just had a football game. I had I had a massive dead leg in my leg. And I'm just in between every round. I'm laying on the ground with a massage gun, trying to get my leg just loosen up. And then this year is a lot less stressful. Just
Oh, I
going
can
out there
imagine.
focusing on wrestling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's crazy, man. Yeah, you don't hear that's some Deion Sanders stuff. Like wherever he played back in the day, he played baseball and jumps on, goes and plays a football game. Like that's something though. That's something. I didn't know you played football though. That's how was your pretty solid football team out there in
Oh
Stillwater?
yeah, it was. We're Stillwater's been like a historic like powerhouse in Minnesota for football. I mean, Stillwater's like 150 years old or something. It's an old school, but in the last 10 years, we've kind of struggled, and now we're kind of on the uprise again.
What now you started like you didn't start off at you started off at East Ridge, right?
Yep. Start my seventh and eighth grade year was at the town that I grew up in,
So what
and
made
then
that move from there to Stillwater? Just better coaching or
well, what happened was a new athletic director came in because they couldn't fire her because she had tenure, and then she started firing coaches just right and left. She fired like 15 coaches off the bat and came after our wrestling coach and fired him. And we were like, all right, if you, our whole team said, if you fire him, we're all moving because we were top in the state there. And she tried calling the bluff, and then second the coach got fired, we all listed our houses, and seven of us just up and moved.
well, I mean that's awesome. You all stuck together, but that's she. The, it's the fact that if she is she still the athletic director there? Because I mean that's crazy to see
Yep.
where you ended up. Like that's nuts. Because like it's like you let this kid walk out of our school. You know what I mean? A
Yeah, it
monster middle
was.
linebacker and a D1 wrestler. Like look what you just let leave.
Well, it was more than that because we got my main partner Hunter Leiden, who's at the U of M wrestling. He went to Eastridge. My older brother, who is also a D1 wrestler, he was at Eastridge with me. It's they lost a lot.
That's crazy. I didn't see that. I was curious. Honestly, my guess was this for better. I was guessing better coaching because I, that's what most kids move because it's like, hey, I see a better set of partners here or better set
Yeah.
of coaches out here. So
That's
that's
why
what
I
I was.
went to Stillwater, though. They had Hartung and good partners. So,
Yeah, and Hard Tongue. I mean, he's you got one
oh,
there. That ain't no doubt, buddy. Yeah, that means like a magician with what he does with you guys. I mean, he's great.
yeah, you should have seen the look on my face the first day. He goes, Ryder, middle of the mat. And then I'm wrestling him, and I'm like, oh. But, yeah, and then I got to wrestle Hartung my last 2 years a good amount.
How'd you fare against him?
Uh, Hopefully he doesn't watch this, but he's getting older. Still really good. Could
Oh,
lay
I
to
could
me a good
imagine.
amount, but
I could imagine.
sometimes I got the better of him and felt good when that happened.
Oh, absolutely, man. That's he's when you get a two timer and you get to even get that takedown, like it's gonna make you feel good, especially when it's somebody that you look up to and your head coach, man. So that's
Yo,
that's cool to hear, man. That's you definitely you've had quite a ride, bro. I mean, from starting off there and then having an athletic director, but that was awesome. So your parents were on board, like, hey, you know what? If she's gonna do this, like, let's do what's best for you guys, and up and put you and your brother and even now your sister in a better position, huh?
yeah, I mean, I think they're. I don't really know. Maybe I think they're thinking about moving a little bit. Just we'd been there literally 10, 15 years already, and then maybe they just want a different place anyways. But
Yeah, absolutely. Was it easy transition? Was it hard? I mean, from going to the same place from kindergarten to eighth grade to up and just having to move in high school, was it kind of like, man, got to start over?
uh kinda. I mean, it was more rough just making new friends and stuff. Wasn't really hard leaving everything else behind. To be honest, I
Yeah,
leaving my middle school friends and all them were easier than I thought. And
yeah,
then just making new friends. As a matter of fact, first person I met who I've been best of friends with through all of high school when I came to Stillwater. Just went to his grad party today. He's going to the Air Force Academy for football. So I pretty much had to shake his hand and say bye for the last time today.
oh man, yeah. See that was a little harder than the move from East Ridge, huh?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what though, man, when you get a friend like that, like you said, like one of the first people you met, you've been best friends ever since, brother. Now you guys are just gonna have hella good stories between Air Force and Ohio
So
State doing what you guys are doing. So two best friends doing what that's I mean, dude, your story just keeps getting better and better. I mean, my gosh.
yeah, he actually went to the Air Force Academy while I was committed to Navy because he was looking at. I talked to him like all the benefits of going to an academy, and then he was already interested. And then he commits there, and then I decommit, and I felt a little like I was betraying him. But that's the place for him. He
Yeah.
loves that place.
And I mean, I know your love for him, but I think I mean, at the end of the day, you sat down and looked. And I mean, I'm going to sit here and say, like, yeah, I mean, you made the right call. But at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's got to do what's best for them. I'm excited you're going to be a Buckeye. But so uh, I, I think, honestly, like you, and I'm not sure how that all, with that teams like Air Force. I mean, they pump, I mean, they had their heavyweight up in most pins.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so they definitely do work. But I think you're going to be in a hell of a room with a hell of a group of guys. But
I think I made the right choice too.
yes, sir. Yeah, I'm excited for you. Now, was it hard to make that phone call to like? Now, did you talk to like Colette and have to be like, "Hey, coach," or how does all that
Oh,
play
it
out?
was extremely hard. That was one of the most dreadful calls
To
I
the
had to
man.
make. It was made a Zoom call. Um, Told them they said just give us 48 hours. You can hop on another Zoom call. Just want to talk to you again. Just lay out a few more things again. And I mean, my mind is already really made up.
Yeah, but
But
out
I
of
mean,
respect, you still
yeah,
gave it to him. Yeah, that's
I had to.
understandable.
It was,
Yeah,
like I said earlier, they're great coaches, great team. Everything about it was great. It was just where my potential lied and where I could thrive the best. And it was at Ohio State rather than Navy. And I knew that. But
and it literally couldn't come at a better time, in my opinion, because when you look at '84 at Ohio State, it, in my opinion, it's you and Seth Shoemate. Like that's who's sitting at 184. You know what I mean? With now Romero moving on and graduating,
yep.
you got Seth who redshirted, you coming in, and I I mean, and I watch Seth because he's an Ohio kid, so I got to watch him because I go to the state tournament every year, and
Mm-hmm.
he was going to be a four timer, but to see. I would pay to be in that room to watch it. You know what I mean? Just to watch y'all
Yep.
scrap and make each other better every day.
And it's even the other partners around it, like Rocco Welsh, Luke Gio. It's just everyone around it. And then if you go up higher, there's Feldman, and it's going to be a
Yeah.
tough room scrapping.
It is, and I mean, the future is so unbelievably bright there. And honestly, I think it's the first time since Ohio State won the national championship in I believe 2015 that I can sit here and be like, these kids, the Mendezes, the Nick Buzakis, the Nick Feldmans, the Ryder Rogotzkes, the Vinny Kilkeries, like of the deal, and Rocco, especially Rocco. Honestly, I'm a huge fan. I love the way Rocco, just his intensity. I think you and
Mm-hmm.
him got like even more pumped about it. And when you look at that team, I mean, that's 125, 174, 184. Like it's just like where there's not a soft
It's
spot
not a
there, man.
gap.
Like like that's Nick Feldman up above it. Like it's like these boys, Geog at 97, like they can really make a run. Like it, and you can take out you guys could really have a chance of taking out Penn State. Like it really, and it's exciting because it was like the Yankees, honestly. Like, and it ain't. It's not again. I mean, Kale's running a hell of a show over there at Penn State, but at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, it's like after the Yankees used to run baseball, and I don't know, the Lakers or somebody ran. But I don't watch basketball, but like you get that repetitive nature of the same team, or like the Patriots when they were winning all them Super Bowls. It was kind of like, man, come on, like
Yep.
somebody for it to be the Buckeyes to be the one that's landing all you guys, man. It's
I
it's
see the
it,
same thing coming. People,
yeah,
when I talk to people and they're like where I live, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to Ohio State and stuff, and they ask how they are. I'm like, we're winning the next few years.
yeah,
That without
yeah.
a doubt, we're winning the NCAA's as a team
I agree.
the next few years. A few times, every time, I don't know, but we're winning.
I like it, brother. I do. I honestly, I really was thinking red shirt, but like I was like, he'll probably come in red shirt. But when you really sit back and look, like Ryder, you really could like outside of like Mendez comes in as a true freshman and gets 50 NCAA's, like and you got to be a bad man to do that. But and I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you, like brother, after watching like everything that I could watch on you and looking like you could really do, you can you can do this, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not just saying that to say it. Like I believe that to the fullest.
Well,
Like
I know.
as
I
a true
appreciate it,
freshman,
though.
yeah. Like as a true freshman, like you got crazy potential, man. And it's only gonna get better. And that's what they should worry about. In all honesty, like anybody that's standing across from you better be like, damn, this kid was like he was in high school, and what is he now? After
Mm-hmm.
training with the training partners he has and the coaches he has, like this kid's gonna be scary.
Yeah, I see my potential as limitless, and especially at with the Buckeyes and at Ohio State, I
What do
see
you?
it reaching.
What? Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Where do you feel like your best position is? Like you like neutral, top? I mean, honestly, as weird as it sounds, like I might think you're the best. Your best is on bottom,
I can agree with that. A lot of people would agree with that. I mean, I've always been
which
really
is
good on
insane.
bottom, and then people started. Their game plan was just don't
Go
Just get
neutral.
on
Go
top.
neutral with
Just,
you.
yeah, neutral. If they take me down at all, get away, cut me, anything. I mean, I think that was Mirasol's plan in the Christmas
Yeah.
tournament. He stayed on for
Oh, a
5 seconds and ended up on his back.
little
But with that, I started focusing on neutral a lot more. And
seen
with
that. I think
Pinnacle,
you grow.
yeah,
You've
with
grown a
Pinnacle
lot.
Wrestling, I met Jared Lawrence, Brandon Paulson as coaches. I think I grew a lot on my feet, and I'm
Yeah,
confident in myself in all positions now.
100%, bro. And that's the big thing is that I've watched you. Honestly, I think it benefited you like earlier on in your high school career, like letting people get to your legs, like to a point to where it made you like because you dude, you could scramble like a dog too. So like on top of it, like I think it helped your scramble game, but like instead of putting yourself in them sticky situations, like you can literally watch your progressions as you from your sophomore year to your junior, like, and it's just like, damn, this kid ain't even letting people get to the legs now. Like now he hasn't, you're not getting as many sticky situations, but if you do, it still helps you be able to scramble.
Yo, I agree with that. That's actually exactly how I've looked at it the last few months as I've improved on my feet.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, and I could understand it, like, because after watching you, like. I mean, like I said, like the minute that you got with me, I mean, I try to put in some time on everybody that'll take the time, and I've been blessed to have. I mean, the next 2 weeks, just every day I got somebody. But honestly, bro, I did one with Nick Buzakis, but my camera messed up. So you're legitly my first legit one. Me and Nick's gonna link back up, but so this is you're the first Kings of Wrestling episode 1, big dog.
That's
To
sweet. I'm
the
honored. I'm gonna look back at this podcast when it's huge. Like, oh,
I
episode
hope.
1.
Yes, sir. And you know what, man, we're and I hope you're right because I'm actually building a little studio right now. Right now I'm just doing it at the table, but I'm hoping that uh it that it grows into something special, man. And I hope I can link up with you your junior year and senior year and you're 2 national titles deep
So
and we do this again and keep this thing rolling because I truly do love it and it's definitely been awesome. So and even you taking this time has been awesome. But hey, what do you think about that 3 point takedown rule? How you feeling about it?
considering I thrive on bottom, if I get taken down, it's easier to do stuff. I am not one of the people who are super happy about it, but I think it's good. I don't know. I got mixed emotions on it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do. I think the weirdest thing is going to be, man, my whole life it's always been somebody like when it's a close takedown right at the end of a period or end of a match, you have two, you know what I mean? Like how you can be
Ooh,
like
that low pitch.
three, yeah,
Yep.
like three, I get three. I don't even know how to
Yeah.
go about it,
Well,
but
I see that.
yeah. So they like, I mean, but it's I kind of at first was like, all right, I get what they're doing because you see guys, all right, Carter Starachi we'll use for an instance, or even Caleb Romero at Ohio State, right where 84, where you're filling in at, like was amazing on their feet, and they would I mean, keep taking down, keep taking down, keep taking down, and kicking, and then it was like at the end of they just took this dude down 5 times, and it's 10-5 at the end of the first, and it's like, man, it's I mean he just owned the first period. I mean he's only up 5. Like you know what
Yeah.
I mean? One move by this guy, like
One big
that was
move and
tie game. You know what I mean? Like you're sitting there with a tie matchup, and it's like ah. So I mean
flip to your back
that's
once and you're down by
yeah.
1.
Yeah, and I guess that's why I was looking at it like right, even down by 1 because it's 4. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I, I'm glad they didn't do the riding point rule though, because I knew they were trying to switch it. So I mean, would you think of that one? Like you don't get your riding point unless you turn.
I mean, I if I'm on top, I turn. So I didn't really
So
know
you're
that
looking
one
at
as
it like,
much, but
yeah, yeah, and that's the only one that didn't go through. It was more or less like you can have 3 minutes of riding time, but if you don't turn him throughout the match, like you don't get your riding time point.
yeah, I'm glad they didn't do that. I think that
Me,
doesn't swap the sport of wrestling up too much because like
me too.
freestyle Greco takedown, you're going to be hearing that low pitch two with everything. High
Uh-huh.
school, you'll hear it. and then it's just going to be college folk style. That it's 3.
Yeah, and it is kind of. Yeah, I get you, and it is like a mixed bag of emotions. Like I can see what they're trying to do, but I also it's like it's wrestling. Like this is what we do. This is what we've known. This is. Dude, I'm 34 years old. It's all I scream to all. I'll probably still scream to. Like
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
just
Like,
got
and
to
it's
give it a
just
year.
yeah, let it soak in, see how it goes, and I don't know. Honestly, I just don't want them to keep. I love folk styles. My favorite style of wrestling, but like throughout my entire life, I never wrestled a freestyle match in my life or a Greco match. So that's why my heart lies with folk style. So I just
Mm-hmm.
hate I loved it the way it is. You know what I mean? Anything that'll help the sport grow, I'll back it 100%. But it's just like these people, and I'm not sure who it is who makes, but these people really have, instead of like looking at it like, hey, how can we get more numbers? Like it's at the end of the day, like it's a tradition. It's the oldest sport of all time. It's the greatest.
Yep.
Like how much do we want to change this? Like it's amazing as it is.
I think people get used to it. I mean, freestyle and Greco rules are changing like every year.
Yeah, it ain't no
And
doubt. No
that's
doubt. It's
weird. You
hard to
got a
keep up.
new coaches meeting and wrestling meeting every single year, and it's like 4 or 5 rules are changed.
Yeah.
So it won't be too bad, but it'll take a year or two for people to accept it or not accept it, and then to change it back. Or
Yeah, and it could, and that's something that, and that's why I was actually talking to some guys at work about it. And I was like, buddy, it don't mean that, because like they were like totally like, this ain't wrestling, they're messing up wrestling, and it was like, well, at the same time, like it can always be changed back. Like nothing's
mm-hmm.
nothing's gonna ruin wrestling. And like, have you ever been to an NCAA tournament? Have you ever got to go and watch one like
Oh,
in
not in
person?
person.
Amazing. And bro, so the first time you ever go to one's gonna be whenever you wrestle in one.
Yep.
Like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, it's
It's awesome. It's you're. I couldn't imagine. I mean, imagine the state tournament like times 10. Like, you know what I mean? Like yeah. Like
well, I did the same thing for that. Like 7th grade year, I've never gone to the state tournament. I just show up. I'm in the middle of the arena now in the semifinals.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
they got formats going. I don't know. I like the thrill.
Yeah, I tell you. I mean, you're built for it. You're definitely
Yep.
built for it. But that's it'll be man to step out on whenever they got all them mats out there. Just it was. I went to it when it was in Cleveland. So gosh, it was 4 or 5 years ago. And
Yep.
but man, what just I mean, packed too, not an empty seat and at all. So it was cool to see that like just wrestling was able to fill a stadium for 3 days, and I mean it's packed every single day. So
Mm-hmm.
that it's always good to see the sport just thriving like that, man.
Yeah. So,
But well, Ryder, man, I won't keep you much longer, brother. I definitely appreciate you coming on and taking the time to do this, and like I said, man, I hope we can link up in 2 years. And this is the biggest podcast in wrestling, and
mm-hmm.
you're 2 national champions deep, bro, with 2 titles.
For sure. I love talking wrestling, so this was a nice way to burn an hour.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I definitely appreciate it more than you know, and keep me posted. You know how things go, man. Just check in every once in a while. Let me know how it's going down there in Columbus, and we'll definitely I'll link up with you down there at a match or something one time, man, and just